In Module 5, we think a lot about risk. Remember, a project is a unique endeavor, never been done before. We may have done something very similar to it in the past, but in the true definition of a project, we have not done this project before. Even if we've done it in the past for someone else, it was potentially a different environment, a different customer, a different project team. So our instructions for the team exercise is to go back through our charter and our work breakdown structure and evaluate and capture potential risks. Here's my project charter. Notice a couple of my objectives. Number one, raise $10,000, sell tickets and acquire donations. Raising $10,000 is my primary objective. So to me, one of the key potential risks is that for whatever reason I can't raise $10,000 or I can't sell that number of tickets. Raising the funds prior to the end of school year just means I need to be able to schedule that party sometime prior to the end of the school year. That's probably doable. In creating a sustainable, repeatable annual program, that's under my control. Raising the money, selling the tickets is not really under my control. I can advertise, I can communicate, but I can't force anyone to buy tickets or to donate. Likewise, my project is highly dependent upon volunteers. So as I go through my objectives and my deliverables, this starts to suggest what some of my issues may be. Let's take a look real quickly at my schedule. And here in my schedule, one of the first things I'm doing is trying to bring together or assemble my volunteers, either graduates or band parents, etc. And a lot of my workers on the project are volunteers. So what happens if I don't get enough volunteers? I may have a difficult time even doing the party to begin with. So let's look at my risk list. Here in my risk list, I have my category description, the possible cause, the effect of my objectives, a qualitative probability and a qualitative impact, and then my potential responses. So the first is, if we don't sell sufficient tickets, we'll lose money, impacting our overall project objective of $10,000. Second is security. That was actually called out a little bit lower in my charter. The possible cause is gang activity or heavy liquor use, so providing additional security is also a risk. If we don't sign up sufficient event volunteers, it will cause failure. There could be lack of interest or lack of knowledge, people able to get a venue or market a program or market the party, etc., etc. And finally, if we're not able to get the gymnasium from the high school, that could be a problem in terms of cost. And here's our potential responses to resolve these risks that we identify. Notice my risks are not something under my control. It's not like we could be late. If we have a risk that we might be late, what we're basically saying is we're not effective project managers. All of my risks are things that are out of my control. My inability to sell sufficient tickets. It's not because I don't have tickets printed, it's because people just we fail to sell enough tickets, or we are not marketing appropriately, which is under my control. The security issue, again, I can control security, but if there's gang activity or heavy liquor use, there's really very little under my control behind that. On the event volunteers and using the gym. Okay, so I'm very interested to see what you all do with risk. We'll talk about it in our discussions, and we'll also talk about it in your journals.